we need to talk about a terrifyingly clever scam, one that uses these tiny legal loopholes to turn your biggest investment, your home, into an absolute nightmare. This is the Airbnb squatters scam.
Okay, just really let that sink in for a second. It's the middle of the night. You're locked out, sleeping in your car, while total strangers are inside your house, eating your food, sleeping in your bed.
Cheers.
This isn't some plot from a horror movie. It's a real-life nightmare that's actually happening to homeowners. So how on earth does something like this even begin? Well, and this is the really scary part, it all starts with what seems like a totally smart, completely logical idea.
Let's talk about Mark. He's just a regular guy trying to make ends meet, right? So he thinks, hey, I'll rent out my basement on Airbnb, help cover the mortgage. Seems smart. And he gets a bite from this perfect couple. I mean, they're polite, they pay the whole thing up front, no red flags at all. Mark thinks he's hit the jackpot.
But somewhere in that perfect plan, Mark made one single fatal mistake, and he had no idea. It all comes down to one number, 35. That's how many days he agreed to rent the place for, a decision that was about to cost him pretty much everything.
So let's watch how this whole thing goes from a dream rental to an absolute trap. For the first 30 days, everything is perfect, like textbook perfect.
The couple is quiet, they're clean, zero problems. And then, day 31 rolls around. The reservation is over. Mark, being a good host, goes downstairs to thank them and see them off. He asks them to leave, and they just look at him and say no. And then they hit him with those words. Right there, that's the spring in the trap. That one sentence unleashes a legal nightmare that's specifically designed to paralyze homeowners. So the big question is, what happens next?
Mark does exactly what you or I would do. He calls the police. But this is where the scam gets so brilliant and so evil, because it exploits this huge flaw in the system. It sends homeowners like Mark spiraling into a legal black hole that feels impossible to escape.
You would think this is simple, right? It's trespassing. You call the cops, they come, they remove the person. End of story. But in this case, when the officers show up, their hands are completely tied. Why?
So the police arrive, they listen to Mark's story, they go talk to the couple, and then they come back and deliver the 5 words that just shatter his world. Sorry, sir, it's a civil matter. They can't arrest them, they can't make them leave. They're legally powerless.
And here's the reason why. It's all because of this one legal concept, tenancy rights. You see, in a lot of places, once someone stays in a property for over 30 days straight, the law stops seeing them as a simple guest. It actually gives them the legal rights and protections of a tenant. It doesn't even matter that there's no lease. That 35-day booking crossed a critical invisible line.
And this is where you can really see just how big that power shift is. As a guest, they've just got a reservation. Police can kick them out for trespassing. Simple. But the second they become a tenant, they've legally established residency. Now they're protected by housing laws, which means the police cannot get involved. The only way to get them out is to go through a long, painful, and very expensive formal eviction process in court.
And the cost of that process? It's absolutely devastating. For the next 6 months, Mark was forced to keep paying the mortgage on a house he wasn't even allowed to live in, all while shelling out over $15,000 in legal fees just to get these scammers out of his home.
Okay, that was the nightmare scenario. But now for the most important part of this whole thing, how you can make absolutely sure this never, ever happens to you. Let's walk through the protection protocol. It really boils down to 3 simple but non-negotiable rules. First, and this is the big one, the 28-day rule. Never, ever rent your place out for more than 28 days in a row. That keeps them firmly in the guest box, legally. Second, do not let guests get mail sent to your address. A simple utility bill or a bank statement in their name can be used to prove they live there. And third, and this is crucial, if someone won't leave, do not change the locks. Don't be a hero. That's an illegal eviction and you could be the one who gets arrested. Your first and only call should be to a lawyer.
So, now you know exactly how to protect your home. But there's another, newer scam out there that doesn't target your house. It targets your family. And all it needs is a 15-second clip of their voice to do it. The question is, would you be able to spot the fake? We're going to break that one down next.